So you feel it's getting a bit colder outside. Yeah. So the Rebbe's warming it up in here. The Siyata D'Shmai. Let's just see the Abyssal Bekiyas, and then we'll go into the Ganze Sugya. Vafilu, Ois Dalid. And even Kishemagi is Manalistalik, even when the time comes for a person to go up to the higher world. The Neshama Oila, and the Neshama goes up, Mistabek is the Makamasha Oila, Boila Maseliyonim. And the soul goes up to the higher worlds. This is not the purpose. This is not the purpose that the neshama should be only up in heaven. Our purpose is not just that our soul goes all the way up. Rak. Ikar Ashleimus, the main perfection of the soul. He should be Eishi Lamala. That when the soul is up high, Tilamata Gamkein, and my soul should be all the way down here in this world as well, or in the Shahakal. Al Kain, therefore, Tsar Sheyasher Achra Bracha Ben the Talmud. You need to leave a blessing in the world. Children are a blessing. Children are a blessing. Are we being the blessing that we're supposed to be? All of us are children. We didn't grow in trees. So that you need to leave children or students. That your das, your consciousness should also be down here at the time that your soul goes up to heaven. And like the Gemara says, Asher ein Khalifa Islam, like a person that did not leave behind a substitute. Chadam ben, the Chadam Talmud. One person says it means a child. The other person says it means a student. Ki Talmud mekabel das harav. Because when it comes to a student, you know the student is receiving the das of the Rebbe. Gam haben bevade ein meile kishenishar ben rosha chas v'shalom. It's not just about having children that are not bringing in the godly light into the world. V'ha'ikr, and the main thing, lahasher ben shebechinas Talmud. If you could have children that are like Talmidim, a ben that's a Talmud, a student who's a ben, a child that's like a student. We'll get to later, what about a student that's like a child? I don't mean like he's acting so childish. I mean that a student that's like a child. We'll get to that. If the main thing is that you leave your consciousness in this world, it's enough that I have a student. When the soul goes back up, if somebody really knows ktsas, the diyosay is born a little bit of Hashem's das. It's interesting. Somebody knows a little bit of Hashem's das. This whole Torah is about you and I having das, and now we're talking about Hashem's das. The main tanugim, the shashuim shel Hashem Yisborach, and the pleasure of God. It's only when we make God's name great in this world. You desire the praises. From mounds of dust, clumps of clay. Daniel had a beautiful thought on this yesterday about adding the water, going from dust to clay to human. Hashem has no shortage of angels in the upper worlds. Nevertheless, Ikar Atanug, the main pleasure and the main shashuim of God, is when in this Olam HaShafel, this lowly Burger King, Sloppy Joe, gas, thick, dense, video game filled, gashmias world. Any other synonyms that you guys have? For Olam HaShafel. I thought it was pretty good too. Just Olam HaShafel, NPC filled world. When you could flip an NPC into a human being. If you could fight Agent Smith, you're the man. The angels are never fighting Agent Smith, you understand? Right? Agent Smith is only in this world. The Olam HaShafel, Mamish. The Alkain, and therefore you need to leave after you pass on from this world. Students, children, so that part of you stays down here when you go all the way up there. That when your soul is up in heaven, your students and your kids, they continue the message that the dream lives on. The mission continues. And let's just be totally transparent to all the chevra. What's the mission? We're not hiding anything. It's to spread Hashem's name in the world. There's a full transparency here. To spread God's name in the world and to know Yesh Elokim Sholit Ba'aretz, that God is in the world. The Sakei No'ilam B'malchus Shakai, one of the best parts of davening. And remember, Rabbi say, Aleinu L'Shabech is not a tefillas haderech. Especially for the Sfardim and the Chassidim, because we say it at the end, the Mamish. The Ashkenazim, like, if it's a tefillas haderech by them, then that's really bad. You still have a few more in. Shir Shel Yoim, Kavel Hashem. To reveal God's kingdom in the world. To reveal God's kingdom in the world. That's the transparent mission that we have. And therefore, when my children will live on, and they will continue to share and to grow and to love and to build, and the dream will live on. Because when your consciousness stays down here, through a son or a child or a student. Now the Rebbe is going to use this word nechshav a few times. It's like we talked about, pay attention to some of the words that come up. One of the words that I keep seeing, like I'm like walking around, is ikr. Nechshav. Also in a machshava, which is of the Olam HaSeliyim. Nechshav. Now tell me if you see anything in this line that seems to be a seeming kasha. Nechshav ki'ilu hu mamish. Hu ba'atzmai mamish nishra ba'olam. Is there anything here that seems to be contradictory? It's nechshav ki'ilu hu ba'atzmai mamish.
Like, we relate us, especially spiritually, so much to the soul, and the soul is outside of the world. So are we more soul or are we more physical world?
You're going on the word ba'atzmo, like you yourself are literally here?
Yeah, so who's the you? Like, the soul, like body of the soul, burgers like body, and like more soul, more body. Now the body is gone and your soul is gone, and it's saying you're more.
Is my soul gone? It just went up.
And you're more here than ever. Sounds like it makes sense.
Okay? The words ki'ilu usually mean as if to say, and then it says ba'atzmo mamish. As if to say literally. No, is it literally? Is it only as if? Ki'ilu. Like sort of, but not literally. Literally. Not literally. Ki'ilu mamish. I like also what David Shloim is saying, is that what's the me mamish that's here? What is the mamish me that's here? So is my soul here? I thought my soul went all the way up. After 120 years, my soul went up. But as long as I leave children and students, then I'm mamish here. So who is the you? Maybe you could say this: the you is your das. That is the ikr you. You are your consciousness, your das. If you were able to give your consciousness through your children and through students, then you're mamish right here. You're mamish here. Oh, what do you mean? He's not here anymore. He went up. Did you teach students? Did you have kids? And remember, we said, doesn't mean ein maila kishenishar ben rasha chas v'shalom. Is the kid you if he's a ben rasha? Who's the you? Is this just stam natalism? Or is this about b'nei adam? That whole move in the Torah is very like it's going to come back to us. This is still Bekiyas. We're still just beginning this Torah. Yeah, Yankel.
Did we talk about how this, we were talking about Rahman earlier, so
Yes.
I think we should probably talk about it. This should come from a place of wanting to give, as opposed to a place of like wanting to have more of me stick around.
Oh, we talked about that yesterday.
That's guiding.
Yes. Is this about, it sounds like in this sif, it's about the ikr shleimus, the perfection of your soul, is when you're not just up in heaven, but you are down here, and then you'll be a perfect person. But Moshe Rabbeinu, he said the opposite. He's like, it's not even about me, it's just about Klal Yisrael, it's about humanity.
Well, maybe the ikr shleimus is when you are not for yourself, and for other people.
And doing that is creating das in kids, creating das in students.
It's about understanding your perspective that if you...
What is the das? What is the das? The das is that Hashem is... So it's really for Hashem. But Hashem wants this. No. Hashem definitely wants that.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, say.
Hashem wants to give. That's what Hashem wants to give. And the best thing, coming to the understanding that the best thing that Hashem can give us is a relationship with Him at the highest level is to not do it for yourself, but do it for Him. But the best thing we could give Hashem is becoming our most complete selves. And then he seems to be saying that, understand that to become your most complete and self is to give das and to give to other people and to help other people.
Okay, very beautiful. that she wants to give to us, and this is us activating and actualizing the greatest us. Yosel.
It says in Pirkei Avot, if I'm not for myself, who will be for me? And Shmir Zalman of Lehi, the Alter Rebbe, said in his Maimar on Shavuos that the reason Hashem gave us the Torah on Mount Sinai and not in some giant mountain, not in some valley, is because you need to have a little bit of, of an ego. You don't want to just be completely nullified. So I think, although it's good to want to just be for everyone and just give yourself over and do everything for everyone else,
It has to be a you.
there has to be a you.
And it had a famous mice, I heard it from my Rebbe Lamir of Resnick. So he said such a nice mice. He said there's a mice of Rabbi Kiva Eger, and he was by a train station, and he saw these Chassidim there. All Chassidim were like going around by the train station, and Rabbi Kiva Eger's like, was tutzach? What's going on? Like, why is everyone so excited? They're like, the Rebbe's coming. The Rebbe's coming. It's like, oh, like who's like, tell me about this Rebbe. Like, what's special about the Rebbe? Like, he knows Shas Bal Peh. He knows the entire Torah off by heart. It's like, no, like he knows a little bit of Torah, like not like. So he probably davens, mamish, Heint bis Morgan, the whole day, the whole night. Like no, he davens like regular, It's not so. Our price is Tehillim. Oh, no, a little bit here and there. Chesed is probably just the biggest Baal Chesed Shai, the biggest Baal Chesed. He does, like not something like so new, like so what? Why is this the Rebbe? He's like Rabbi. He's the biggest Gornish. He's so nothing. He's Pashut nothing. Gornish, nothing. So Rabbi Kiva Eger said, hold on, he has no Torah. He has no davening. He has no tehillim. He's taka Gornish. It's not. You have to be something to be a great. He's Pashut nothing. Okay, that's a Litvish Maisa, by the way. So, to your point, that there has to be a something there, a something. So here the Rebbe is speaking about the shleimus shel neshama. There is such a thing about, and what's the shleimus of the neshama? Is that my perfection is that the world should know you, Hashem. And that's das. Yesh Elokim sholit ba'aretz. That God lives.
And as far as connecting with Hashem, for the sake of connecting with Hashem, although it's true that it's like the goal, the Baal Sulam says there's 4 levels of giving and taking. The lowest level being to take for the sake of taking. The second lowest level is to give for the sake of taking, like I scratch your back, you scratch mine. The third, or the second highest, would be to give for the sake of giving, like just give it all. But then the highest level is to take for the sake of giving. So our relationship with Hashem, it's good for us. Like we're not doing it just because we want to connect to Hashem. Obviously we do, but it's also
He wants a father. If a kid doesn't want to receive the father's gift, it's like when the child enjoys the gift that the father gave him, it gives to the father. It gives him nachas, happiness. I want to give you. I have a love for you. I want you to be able to receive this relationship. And it should pain you when you see a person walking around and rejecting connection to the Creator. Is that the Creator just wants to give and give. The Sfarim say, if we could understand how much God just wants to give to us. Just wants to give to us. So now the Rebbe makes a move. The kol adam yochel lekayim zois lahamid talmidim. So now the Rebbe says, what, you think this is only like big teachers and rabbis? Every single person is able to do this and have students. When 2 people are together, when you see another person and you actually speak to them about God. You see another person and you speak to them about God. This doesn't have to be rabbi, student, teacher, student. Just two people in the lunchroom. Instead of hawking about the latest, chiddush you had in Breaking Bad, you say, did you hear that Mishnah in Pirkei Avos? You want to tell me how your Shemona Esrei has been going recently? Want to share with me a pasuk in Mishlei? Just two people speak, even just Chizzuk. How are things going, with parenting? And to speak it out, and Hashem is with you. Hashem is our Av. It gives you a Chizzuk, being like Hashem. And then even when the kids, are challenging, so you understand, what Hashem must think also. You just speak in Yiras Shamayim. Just speak, Just talking. I always like to say that a person should have a life chavrusa. Now, obviously, your wife is your number one. But I always felt that Rabbi Dov Ber is my life chavrusa. A life chavrusa. It's not like, which is obviously next level. You need that. And Rabbi Dov Ber and I also learn Taisus together. He'll say, if you want to be a man, you need to know Taisus. So, but not only that, life, Shalom Bayis, kids, Avodas Hashem, just everything, talking about things. Like off the books. Just sharing. Chaver makshivim, like the pasuk says. Just two people that want to listen, that are listening. Chaver makshivim, like it says in Shir Shirim. Like two people that I'll hear you out. And usually women have an easier time of doing this. Most guys have a hard time because if somebody calls you up, he's like, yeah, what's going on? It's like, how you doing? Yeah, what do you need? What's up? Just wanted to, just like, how's it going? Like, you need something? Like, I'm busy. No, just like how you feeling? It's like, dude, like, what do you need? Like, what's happening? So, it doesn't have to be that way, by the way. It doesn't have to be weird. I'm saying there should be such a thing that you could talk things out. A person has to wait till he gets to the therapist to do it. That having a life chavrusa, and everybody should think, is there someone in the yeshiva that like, I feel good, you go for dinner. And they just, speak things out. And what are you going to do at dinner? You're going to medabrim yachad b'yiras shamayim. You're going to just talk about things that need to be talked about. Some just that you could review things with. Have a check-in. How was the last month of your Avodas Hashem? On a scale of 1 to 10. That's a nice way to start the conversation. How do you feel that your davening has been over the last month? From 1 to 10. A 4. Okay, what's a 4 mean to you? What would a 7 look like to you? And you just talk things out. It's very, very healthy. So the Rebbe here is saying, he just took the whole thing of like rabbi, student, top, vertical, and made it all horizontal. Because when two people speak together, casually, in Yiras Shamayim, then you're also making Talmidim. Azai k'she'echad meir, look at that, meir lachaveroi be'ezeh dibur. He shines something into his heart. He shines some feeling into his heart. Nechshav chaveroi eitzloi bechinas Talmud. So then he becomes like a student. Ulefa'amim nasa lehepech. And then when the other one shares, my davening, actually this one's been like an 8.7. It's like, bro, how does that feel? What's your secret? He's like, one word. Mikvah, bro. That was 2 words. It was the first word I was focusing on. Maybe it's 1 word, like a dash.
The secret would be 2 words. Lakute Cafe.
Let's go, Rabbi. That could be. It could be. It could be. It could say, a lot of people say when they learn before davening, the davening is a different davening. Because they met the one that they're about to talk to. It's hard to start the relationship. It's like what is that? Who am I talking to? I never really got any context of what's happening here. And that's why learning, in Yiddish they say fartogs. Fartogs. They say like quick, fartogs. Which means before the day began, to learn.
Isn't there a thing about the second temple being destroyed because they didn't do the pre-prayer before learning?
They didn't make the blessing on learning Torah before, which is also a kind of context of who the Torah that I'm learning is. It's an amazing thing. So, davening officially starts 8:30. Usually starts about 9:30. What time does Seder start? 5:30. It says that there's a learning Seder before davening, 5:30. In the morning, 5:30. A learning Seder, 5:30 p.m. That would be next level. 5:30 a.m. When Shoivavim starts, this is on the schedule. When Shoivavim starts, the Seder starts at 3:30 a.m. And the tzaddik is there. I wish I was also. The tzaddik is there, 5-hour learning Seder. There's a famous piece in the Chazon Ish, one of his sichos, where he describes the power of hasmada. That after a person, the beginning is always difficult. Kol hascholas kosher. So the beginning is difficult. But then what happens? After you start, past that first bit, then you have this feeling you start loosening up, and you start feeling like you're in the zone. You're in the zone. And then all of a sudden what happens? An hour goes by, you're like, this is getting good. And then you say, it gets a little hard, and you're like, 2 hours. So at that point, you start feeling like you're actually in the sugya for the first time. Many people describe on Shavuos, it's the first time they ever, because they just sat there for 3 or 4 hours, actually were like, wow, I'm just actually only thinking about this as opposed to Ramadan Schnitzel coming up later. I'm literally in the sugya. Then 3 hours, Ramadan is the chef, then 3 hours go by. They start feeling like physicality start to melt. 4 hours goes by. I start feeling their body at 5 hours, 6 hours. The Chazon Ish describes the noyam and the sweetness and the tanugim and the pleasures. And then they feel like they're moving towards the malach and the chayas, suraf and the hakoid. They're moving all the way up. They just feel like physicality is just melting around. And they're just... So imagine doing that and then starting, Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam. Rosh Tevis, Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam b'shaveh. It's all the same to me. It's all you, Hashem. From Moshe Gersht. It's all the same to me. Shivisi Hashem l'negdi tamid. It's all you, Hashem. And now imagine how excited you are to talk and to have God listen and be with you. So at that point, your minyan's not going to be a matzah minyan. There's no 18-minute shachars over here. You feel like... Now you might say, there has to be. You just learned for 5 hours. You got to get to work. But tzaddikim are always planning their life around minions. I can't wait for Shachris. I do a few things between Shachris, but I'm just getting ready for Mincha. Oh, Mincha's coming, Rabbi Simon. And then they just plan okay, Myra's coming, gotta get ready for Myra. Simple people like myself. So we're okay, Shachris, okay, what's happening after Shachris? Where are we going? Where we eat? Where's breakfast this morning? What are we doing? It's we got to get to Mincha. I forgot. Okay, after Mincha, then we'll... The tzaddikim are planning their life around minyanim.
But aren't we talking about that teaching is a big aspect? It's like the person that goes up the mountain and connects is great. The person that comes down and teaches what he's learned is
Oh,
greater.
for sure.
So someone that's just focusing only on the praying and being on the mountain, how?
Because he does come down. First of all, praying, he brings people into the prayer. He does some kiruv prayer. The tzaddikim love when people come to pray with him. They love it. They love it. Every soul that comes is adding to the entire experience. And then afterwards, amazing. See Maya, the amount of people that he is thinking about, talking to, the amount of things that he's involved in, helping people at every level, at every whatever you need. He is there helping people like on terra firma. He helped my family in tremendous ways, like very practical things. I was speaking to the Lulav Rebbe's son yesterday. The Lulav Rebbe, he has a book like this, thick, on his desk in Borough Park, New York, thick, filled the names of widows, their phone numbers, where they live, and then he gives his runners wads of cash to just bring to widows who need help. He's thinking, he's calling them like he's totally involved, 100%, with the world, what people need, how to help, how to do. I saw this book. He also gives me money to give out to different people. But he's just thinking. People call me, like, I heard from the Lulav Rebbe, like I should call you. A widow who needs help. The Rebbe's like the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Come on. He basically traveled from 770 to visit his shver in the cemetery there, and back to 770, and he transformed the world. You could do a lot also by sitting at a stender, if you know what you're doing. And the whole world came to see him. They magnetized to see him. The whole world. There's something in those dollars, you understand? When you get Chanukah geld from a tzaddik, we'll talk about this another time, about the energy, especially when we get closer to the parashiyos of Yosef and the brothers and the coat. And a tzaddik puts things in the items. This is like very Ishbitz Torahs. The items that surround you. That's why a chosn always looks to get an item from a tzaddik and to wear under the chuppah, a gartel, something. If you can get something from a tzaddik, it's something you have to be careful. We'll talk about that also. It's like a lot of energy in there. Somebody one time, he's part of the family, he had the tefillin bag of the Bnei Yissaschar. I held it. I felt like I was being electrocuted. This is real stuff.
My brother and I held the glasses and the siddur of the Baba Salo. A friend of ours has it in his house.
A friend of mine has the Tosher Rebbe's siddur. The Tosher Rebbe's siddur. That was a good pickup. Yossel's always trying to, get me stuff on the auction and stuff like that. Yeah. The Beni Shcha, there's big time auction sites. We made Kiddush for the Chaim Kanievsky's Becher.
Is that a thing we should be doing?
I think you should become a tzaddik, and then all your stuff will be like, atomic vibes of love. And if you encounter people that have, good stuff, that's also a good thing. But you should become the tzaddik. Yeah.
As far as infusing into these physical items, spirituality, connect to what you were saying earlier.
Das, putting das in. This is our Torah.
On Shavuos night, how people would break out of the world of physicality with reach all these higher states. What's like the higher state? Like getting past like the physical world, or like infusing the physical
We're seeing from this
world?
Torah that the ikr is to come back down here. That the shashuim, the pleasure that Hashem has when you're able to bring His name into the world here. He has no shortage of angels up there. So when you can do it down here. So let's see what the Rebbe says. So this whole next move is about friendships. And friendships are creating das in each other. Having good friends. I can't stress that enough. Have good friends. Aseh lecha rav, keneh lecha chaver. You should make a Rebbe, and you should be willing to pay. The way I say this practically is, if you have some money, take somebody. There's a nice person that you feel like this would be a nice relationship. He'll be very positive. Go out for dinner. Go for dinner. Steak and wine. It's nice. Spend time together. Have a good friend. Have a good friend. Good friends are so valuable. So valuable. Have good friends. You don't have to have a billion friends. You should be friendly with everyone, but have good friends. Have a life chavrusa. And don't worry, you don't have to think like, so, like, are we going to be life chavrusas? Like, should we sign the dotted line on this? It doesn't have to be like BFF. Like, are you really my actual best friend? Oh, he said I was his best friend. But friendships, real friendships. In yeshiva, you should be thinking, like, who are the guys that I just feel like, I feel good friendship connections to? And that I could spend time together. And we could speak about Yiras Shamayim. We could speak about things. Be friendly with everybody for sure, but have good friends. Healthy friendships are so important. You have to be very careful to be involved in this. From the great Rabbi Isaiah, the prophet. Isaiah 45, Rabbi Yisai. That the world was not created for desolation. Rather, the world was created for those to dwell in it. And what does it mean to have humans dwell in it? Das. That human beings could have friends and talk about Hashem. Talk about their struggles and pulling themselves up from the mounds of dust and lumps of clay that we're made of. A dolphin can't hang out with another dolphin and say, you know what? Should we talk about Avodas Hashem together? Can we talk about like how we can make moves together? But human beings can do that. We could climb out of our clay man state and we could bring God's name into the world. And therefore the ikr is not just that my soul is up there, that my soul comes all the way down here.
To continue with the analogy, it takes water for us from dust to move to clay, but it takes sculpting for us to become humans.
Beautiful.
We're the clay, you're the mold.
And who's sculpting? Not just the chef,
The
but
das.
everybody around us.
Yes, through das. Through das. When you're dasing, and you're speaking here of Yiras Shamayim, this is the first introduction of Yiras Shamayim. You're speaking about God. You're speaking for real with your friends. You're helping each other. You're pulling each other up. This is major. This is so massive. To really be there for human beings. And to be there means that we're going to talk more than just Breaking Bad. I'm saying the Indian of Breaking Bad is actually a nice thing. To break bad things in the world is a very nice thing. I don't know if that's what the show is about. It's not about that. It's about building bad? I don't know. Maybe. I didn't see it. But I heard that people watch it.
Okay, it's better not.
Apparently it's really well made, like they say. No.
It is.
At least well made.
Oh.
And therefore, the whole purpose is to build and populate and build this beautiful world up. Oh, the Rebbe is telling me not just Moshe Rabbeinu should be doing this. You and I, to be osek and building up this world. She'olam memule b'bnei Adam, to fill the world with humans, with b'nei das. Imagine going to Times Square and walking around, and you hear everyone's conversations. And this one's talking about, can I help you be a better person? And this one says, can I help you be a better Eved Hashem? And this one's giving a good pshat in the Gemara in Bab Metzia, of Yehu Shalom Midas. And everywhere, he's like, I found something. And the guy's like, what do you say? Finders, keepers, losers, weepers? He's like, let's look at Shulchan Aruch. Did he have Yehush? Does it have a simon? Imagine this everywhere you walk. The whole world is talking about, what does God think about this? Imagine the whole world thinking, what does God think about this? By the way, that's what the Messianic era is going to look like. Umilo es haaretz, and Hashem tells Adam, fill the world. This is what it means to fill the world. When the world is filled with people that want to talk about Edom Litzias. Because if a person is not doing this, and his whole life is just running away, or speaking about the world Hagashmi exclusively, then he's just acting like an animal. He was resembling a human being, but he's really acting from his animal part. And the purpose wasn't just to have animals in the world. It's to have B'nai Adam, to have human beings. Animals are great, but humans are not animals. We have das to climb out of our animal self. And then Reb Nosson adds these words. This is what's in the brackets, Reb Nosson. Hainu. Like the way that a person has to have children, that the world will continue. You have to have people and then give them das. Oh, what is the first mitzvah of the Torah? Have children. But says Reb Nosson, the Iker HaMitzvah, the main part of the mitzvah, the essence of the mitzvah of having kids, Shemitzuva Lahamid told us, L'kaim ha'olam, Ki Iker Lahamid told us, Mimin b'nei Adam daika. Wasn't just to have more bodies. Holy souls. Like I saw Elon one time, Elon Musk was like tearing up. He's like, the human race, based on the numbers, is dying. Is dying. Now, did he mean like the Bengal tigers are dying? Or did he mean humans that have souls that could build up a beautiful world? That's what's dying. Creativity. The soul is so creative. V'loimin behemus v'chayis b'demus adam. Al kein kol zman she'ein meir hadas b'bnei adam. Ve'enim yodim margishim alakusa yisborach. Memshaltoi einem bechlal b'nei adam. Me'ach she'ein behem das. L'das es Hashem. Shezeh ikar geder ha'adam. This is the defining feature of the person. It's as if that the world is not being populated. And this is the mitzvah of, and they will fill the land. We have to fill the world with real creative souls. That we should be speaking. So you're literally creating students and children, as we're going to see, just by speaking in Times Square about Yirah Shamayim. This is what it means to build a world. She'olam yushim b'nei adam hainu b'nei deya she'yodin Hashem yizborach nir. Now Reb Nachman starts again, and a part of me just wants to see this. And then next week we're actually going to go to Oisei, and we'll do a chazer on this at 1:55. Al kain tzrichen kol echad lasoik b'zeh. We all have to be involved in this. Lahachnet das v'yiras shamayim mechaverim. There it is. Das and yiras shamayim. What's the difference between das and yiras shamayim? She'ala dezeh naseh chaver b'chinas talmid eitzloi. Because then your friends will become your students. And then when a person's time comes, when the time comes for our souls to go all the way back up to heaven, as I used lavish, it's the first time we saw this. When your soul goes back up, and you spoke to this person about God, so then your words became clothed in Him. He's like clothing of you, moving in the world. As I is labish b'zeyadibur shehichnes b'chaveroi, that you shared das with him, so now he is like moving around with your das. And by the way, he has his own das, but he received your das because he felt like that idea really picked me up. Like every good speaker says, remember one thing. Like whatever you do, just take one thing with you. And then you hope that you do, it's a good message. You take this one thing and it's like in me now. It's like in you. You ever had a book that changed your life? It's just like, it's in me now. I'm walking around. There's a book I happen to be reading right now. It was suggested to me from many different angles, and I spoke to somebody a few days ago, and I said, like, what books have changed? And I said, it's so funny. I'm literally reading that book right now. It takes me a long time to, read books because at the end of the day, I'm very tired. So I go into my armchair and I basically read like a page. My wife is like, it's such an easy read. Like, she's like, I finished this in one sitting. I'm like, I know. I wish I had more time to read this. The Knight in Rusty Armor. The Knight in Rusty Armor. Have any of our chevra read this book? The Knight in Rusty Armor. It's a very good book. You read it? It's a very good book. Yeah.
When I was in there, when we say Vishnam should we have intention that it's not like literally giving to our kids and our house, but rather to
our students.
God around the world.
Yes. The Gemara says, Vishinantam levanecha, you should teach your children, Elu hatalmidim. These are your students. The Gemara makes the drasha. Vishinantam levanecha means your students.
Look at the Orthodox Rabbi. Didn't have.
That's right. Oh, he had a lot of kids.
Yeah, right.
He's look at, I feel like his son.
He's in like half of our wallets on half of our refrigerators. he's in 90% of our Gemaras. Just like that's
He had a lot of kids. He's still having kids. Reb Nachman has a lot. Look at this. Look what's happening. Reb Nachman said, "Eishli tu kadabiyas Moshe." This, my fire is going to continue. He's having kids nonstop. His das is in him. That's right. That's a lot. The whole world. Yeshiva Olam. Mamish. It's a big thing.
Do you think you can choose your students? Because Adam and Eve relationship became stronger when they chose each other. When you have a son, it's not necessarily choose to have it. You can choose to have a kid, but not always. And it's like,
you can choose to make your kid a Talmud, though. Remember, we said the whole point of having a kid is not that he just, more bodies. Is that your son should become a Talmud. Your son should have your das.
So you can choose students to enhance your relationship.
For sure. And we're saying that that's the ikar, that's the whole thing. And this whole thing about friendship that the Rebbe went into is not like you go and hang out like, well, let's make each other students. But you think about it, you're like, I'm going to share thoughts of your Shemaim and Das with you. And it's going to pick you up. And I want to hear what you have to say. And then I'm going to become your student. And then it's like we're just lifting each other up because we have so much to give. Every person has so much to give. Yeah, Yanko.
A good mashal. My dad grew up playing guitar. He got really, really good at it in his youth. But he was learning how to play. He wasn't learning to learn how to teach. So when I wanted to learn guitar, I would always ask him. I looked up to him. But he really didn't know how to teach me. He just kind of like, figuring out this stuff. So our relationship is strong now for a multitude of reasons, but not so much because we just happen to have that in common now. But it could have been so much stronger if he had like been the one to teach me.
But maybe it could be. Maybe it's true. It's true. But maybe also by the sheer fact that he plays such a beautiful guitar, he taught you just by him playing guitar, and now you feel an arousal to play guitar also. So there's also a teaching that happened through that. B'ezrat Hashem. So here the Rebbe says, just finishing this little shtickle. Yislabish b'zeh adibur shehichnis b'chaveroi v'yenechshav ki'ilu be'atzmei mamish kaim b'zeh oilam k'may shekoz v'asher ein chalifa islam achadam or ben chamer tamid nimtzu k'shenishar benoi tamid acharov. As a yesh chalifa islamai, you do continue in the world. Hainu ki yesh loy chalipin me'achar shenishar daitoi acharov al de ben oy talmid k'nir la'el ki ikar hu adas. The main thing is das. Kishenishar adas acharov. When you leave yourself here, you have a substitute. Al de ben oy talmid nechshav ki'ilu mamish nishar kaim ba'olam. Now the Rebbe says, v'zeh chalifos. The word chalifos means a substitute. Is a Rosh Tevis. It's an acronym. Pi yedaber chochmas v'hagus libi savunas. King David says that my mouth speaks wisdom and my heart has feelings of understanding. So what is your chalifos? Is the degree that you were sharing your wisdom and you were sharing. That is now what will remain in the world. Ki ikar hu adas shu bechinas pi yedaber chochmas v'hagos libi tzavunos sheze ikar ashara v'achalifos shenishem en adam acharov dainu ma shehaya medaber chochma tavuna im chaver v'hichnas boi das emes. Das emes, which means there's something called das, it's not emes. The Yiras Shemaim Kanila El. Al Kain Pi Yedaber Chochmas V'Hagos Libi Tavunas Rosh Davis Chalifos. Ki Ze Ikra Chalifos V'Ashara. This is what you leave in the world. Ube emes. We're going to see the next level of Ube emes. The Rebbe takes it all the way. So Rabbi Sai, make friendships. Make friendships. Friendships that you speak with each other about Yiras Shamayim. You lift each other up. Make good friendships. Make friendships in this world, and you continue. And that's the Ikar Shleimus of the Neshama. We should be Zoycha Mamish the Das. We should be Zoycha Mamish Ato Reisa Ladas. Ki Hashem Elokim. We should be Zoycha that after 120 years, by the Istalkas, that we should have so much Das filling the world, because the Ikar Tanugim and the Shashuim of a Kodesh Baruch Hu is when this world is praising Hashem and saying, Yesh Elokim Ba'aretz. Hashem lives in this world. And we should be Zoycha once and for all to have the real Yishuv Ha'olam, the Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, the Yishuv of a world filled mamish with Yamalia Arts Des Hashem Kamaim Liyam Nechas, and we should be Zoycha to the Binyan Beis HaMikdash with Mashiach Tzidkeinu B'mhirav Yamina Amen V'Yamein. Amashreinu Matov Chakeinu Madayim Do'alei Oh Yashreinu Oh Madayim Do'alei La 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 Shachris! Call to the